Good evening. Since the beginning of the war, I have made it clear that we are in a struggle and battle against the Iranian axis of evil. This is an existence war with a stronghold of foreign militaries and missiles that they wish to strangle us with. In my speech in Congress a few days ago, I mentioned three main tentacles of this axis of evil: Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollah. The three H's. Over the past few days, we have given a very strong blow to two of them. 3 weeks ago, we attacked the Chief of General Staff of Hamas, Mohammed Deif, and then 2 weeks ago, we had an Air Force strike in Yemen, which is a very far target. And yesterday, we targeted Fouad Shukr, the General Staff of the Military Chief of General Staff of Hamas. I'd like to thank the IDF, the Shin Bet, the Intel Directorate, and the Air Force, and all security branches on very precise execution in three different fronts. Muhsan was the person directly in charge of the massacre of our children in Majd al-Shams. He was responsible for the murder of many other Israelis. He was responsible for the incessant attack on our people in the north over the past 9 months of war. He was one of the most wanted terrorists in the world. There was a prize by the U.S. for $5 million, and there's a reason for that prize. He was involved in the murder of 241 American soldiers and 58 French soldiers in Beirut in '83. He was a main element in the connection between Iran and Hezbollah. He was in charge of the entire missile operations of Hezbollah. A few days ago, as I visited that terrible site of massacre in Majd al-Shams, I saw the terrible sorrow and grief of the families, and I said to the Druze, we are brothers and sisters. We have a bond of life, and this bond becomes even stronger in such days of grief. And the murder, the massacre of these innocent children is added to the incessant suffering of the people living in the north of Israel who have been sent to exile from their home. And we will not remain silent over that. We settled the score with Mohsen, and we will settle the score with anyone else who massacres our children, murders our citizens. Anybody who harms our country will die, will be killed. The citizens of Israel, we are facing some challenging days. Since the strike in Beirut, we've been hearing threats from various directions. We are ready for any scenario, and we will stand together, determined to face any threat. Israel will exert a very heavy price for any aggression against us from any arena. Citizens of Israel, already back in the first days of the war, I said that it will take some time and it will require patience from all of us. And I repeat that today as well. For months now, every week, people tell me, both in and outside of Israel, finish the war because we've exhausted whatever we can achieve and it's impossible to win the war. But I did not give in to these voices then, and I do not give in to them today as well. Had we given in to these pressures, we would not have killed the heads of Hamas and thousands of terrorists. We wouldn't have destroyed the terrorist infrastructure and underground infrastructure of Hamas. We wouldn't have taken over the Philadelphia corridor and the Rafah crossing, which is the conduit of oxygen for Hamas, allowing them to recover. And we wouldn't have come closer to conditions that can bring back both the hostages and make it possible to achieve all the goals of the war, to bring back all the hostages, to eliminate both the government and military capacities of Hamas, and make sure that Gaza no longer poses a threat over Israel, and to bring back Israelis both in the south and in the north of Israel safely back to their homes. We've achieved all that over the past few months because we did not surrender, because we have reached some very brave decisions despite very heavy pressures from within and from without, and it wasn't easy. I had to push back against so many pressures, but we've achieved that because our soldiers, both the reservists and in the conscript army, in the IDF, in the military, in the Shin Bet, they do not give believe in. They fight like lions. They are determined to win. And together with all Israelis, I support them with great support and faith in how just we are. We, of course, do not forget for 1 minute the bereaved family who have lost their precious loved ones, the families of the hostages who are yearning for the return of their loved ones, and the families of those who were injured in battle and are now fighting to recover. Thanks to them and thanks to all of you, citizens of Israel, we will fight together, and God willing, we will win together.